Good morning. Welcome to Thiagarajar College of Preceptors Internal Quality Assurance International Webinar on Organizational Leadership and Challenges, conducted on June 9, 2020, 12 noon India zone and 10:30 a.m. UAE zone. I am Dr. S. Prakash, the Principal of Thiagarajar College of Preceptors, and once again I welcome you all for this auspicious occasion. It is my duty to introduce about our college. Thiagarajar College of Preceptors, Madurai, Tamil Nadu, India, was established in the year 1956. It is one of the pioneer colleges started in the era of 1950s and 60s, and there were only 5 to 6 colleges in the entire Tamil Nadu during that time. Currently, we are celebrating our 64th year celebrations. We offer B.Ed degree course for the student teachers, and we are NAC accredited and ISO certified institution. During the time of this unfortunate pandemic period, Thiagarajar College of Preceptors, Madurai is actively involved in conducting various webinars, online workshops, etc. In fact, we have conducted so far 13 national level quiz competitions, 2 online research methodology workshops, and currently we are running an online course on classroom technology, and we have successfully completed 2 competitions national level for student teachers studying B.Ed in digital storytelling competition and the PowerPoint presentation competition. Currently we are in this international webinar, which is the 9th webinar organized by the Internal Quality Assurance Cell of Thiagarajar College of Preceptors. With this brief introduction, I would like to welcome our resource person of the day, Dr. Alex Jones, a Professor of Leadership, College of Business Administration, American University in the Emirates, Dubai, United Arab Emirates. On behalf of the management, faculty members and student teachers, I welcome you, sir. And I thank you for giving your valuable time for this international webinar. Now I request Dr. N. Sundar, the coordinator of this program, to introduce our chief guest, resource person, Dr. Alex Jones. Over to Mr. Dr. Sundar. On behalf of Thiagarajar College of Preceptors, from the management, principal, staff and students, we welcome you all for the webinar session on organizational leadership challenges. The resource person, Dr. Alex Jones, he is currently working as an assistant professor from American University in the Emirates, Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Dr. Jones has a doctorate in leadership from ACBSP Global Business Accredited University with a focus on critical thinking and leadership. He has also a Masters of International Business. He has extensive experience in business development both UAE and internationally. He has worked managing worldwide publishing for Macmillan, Baldry Macmillan, W.H. Freeman, and Worth publishers in different countries, including Dubai and GCC countries. Within the academic arena, Dr. Jones worked in a higher education field as an academic dean, chief academic officer, director of admission and administration, and designed the school official DSO in San Francisco, California. He was responsible for the growth, diversity in business development of the university domestically and in the Far Eastern countries covering Japan, China and South Korea and overseas. And Dr. Jones worked as an executive officer, a chief executive officer in the corporate world in Dubai, United Arab Emirates, specialized in business development and joint venture. And Dr. Alex Jones, he has received a scholarship award from Pearson for his significant research contribution in the field of leadership and critical thinking. So there are so many things he has occurred, and if I read out it takes more time. So I hand over to Dr. Alex, and the floor is yours, Dr. Alex. Thank you, and we welcome you all for the session, and it is our privilege to have you as a resource person. Thank you, Dr. Jones. Can you please, before start the session, I request all the participants to be there until the end of the session. End of the session, the feedback link will be sent to you. The link will be open for 10 to 15 minutes. Those who will be filling the form only will receive the certificates. Thank you. Dr. Alex, please, the floor is yours. And Dr. Sophia Johnson is along with us. She is assistant professor from Thiagarajar College of Preceptors in education. And she is the one going to interact with the resource person with Dr. Alex Jones. Thank you, and welcome Dr. Sophia Johnson. Thank you. Bye.
Around. Thank you for the wonderful introduction, and I really appreciate it. Today is a beautiful day. I want you to think more messages from Dubai, wherever you are in the world. I think we better start the day with being positive, and let's have some energy. That will be the topic of today, organizational leadership, and ethical issues and challenges that faces us today. Sophia? Dr. Sophia?
Hi, yes. Good afternoon, Dr. Jones. We are lucky enough to have you as a, yes, good afternoon, sir. We are lucky enough to have you as a resource person here for this wonderful program. I am profusely elated to take an opportunity to represent the viewers and to shoot some questions to the resource person of this program, Dr. Jones. Yes, happy noon. Can we start the session with the questions? Can we start?
Absolutely, absolutely. I really like to thank you guys for joining the seminars. Everybody, thank you guys for joining today. This is going to be a valuable topic for all of you. We really need leadership in our lives. Everybody needs leadership. Doesn't matter if you're a student, if you're a professor, if you're a person who's not working, about to work, we all need leadership in our lives.
Interesting.
Timelines and more have been developed and shared easily as This is another platform to create multimedia content that is
There is a lot of noise in the background.
Yeah, yes. Can you please just hold a minute? Let me meet all the participants.
Dr. Sophia, why don't we start the session with questions and answers?
Yes. How does a leader should motivate his team? The first question. How does a leader should motivate his team?
Dr. Sophia, can you please repeat the question?
How does a leader should motivate his team?
Right. Let me start with this. Actually, leadership is a skill that everybody needs. Doesn't matter what you do in your life, we all need leadership. Leadership is all about charisma, and a leader should be a charismatic person. You should be all about the people around you. You should be really motivating the people in your team. A leader would not be a leader without followers, and that brings the second point here. Everybody needs followers. And everybody needs to nourish and encourage these followers, taking care of these followers, and that's really the most important thing. I see a lot of leaders nowadays, they're obsessed with a position, and they forget the fact that people they are following them and they look at them as role models. Leadership is all about taking a step forward and then taking the lead to encourage people, to motivate your own people. How are you going to do this? You're going to do this by taking care of them. Leadership is all about being passionate, compassionate, having the empathy. This is the qualities of a leader. Unlike those leaders who are really motivated just by the position and they look at the position as something and then they forget the people under them. You don't need to do that. As a leader, you should step in forward and take a step. Get out of your comfort zone. Take care of the people around you. Encourage them just to be in that out of the comfort zone along with you. And how you're going to do this is the way to do it is by really looking after them, by taking care of your own people, because you need a team to be successful. And without a team, you will not be able actually just to run your operation as a solo. I see many people really neglect that aspect, and I'm not a big fan of that. As a matter of fact, I like to see a lot of leaders taking care of their own people and looking after them over and over and over. And set the charisma. Start your day with positive energy. You as a leader, you are a role model. People will look at you. If you show a sad face, the people in your team will show a sad face. If you show a happy face, people will really replicate the same thing. Regardless of what you have, right? It's basically, you're just going to forget this and then try to step in to the organization, to wherever you are, whatever you do, whether you're a student, whether you're a faculty, whether you're an employee, right? Make sure you motivate the people around you. You just push those people into the positive zone. And that's what is called the charismatic leader. Dr.
Yes.
Sophia?
Yes, thank you, sir. But from your answer, we can understand the leader should be a charismatic person to attract his team to lead them. Yes? Thank you, sir. The next one, differentiate the leader and the manager. Differentiate the leader and the manager, please.
Right. So basically, there is a lot of debates and a lot of research is done about what leaders are supposed to do and what leaders are all about and how managers are different from them. Actually, as a matter of fact, every manager should be a leader and every leader should be a manager. Now, there are two aspects to this, doing the right things or doing things right. So leaders do the right thing. Managers do things right. There should be a lot of harmony and synergy rather than actually doing a conflict and a clash between the leader and the manager. There should be really a lot of harmony and synergy to drive that into synergetic environment, and that's really a most important aspect. So managers look up to their leaders, and leaders look at the macro, big picture, and then look at the vision of the organization. They set up the vision, and managers, they implement, which is basically implement the mission. So there should be a lot of synergy that happens between a leader and managers in that perspective, because if you are run in totally two different ways, in this case, you're not achieving the ultimate goal and the desire for the whole organization. Now, the question is, a lot of people say, oh, you're just a manager. Well, basically, you can be just a manager by looking at yourself just a manager, but look at yourself instead of looking at it this way. Look at yourself as you're a manager, but you're a leader because you're replicating. And as a matter of fact, it does not only start with this. A leader should empower their employees. It's all about empowerment. If you don't empower your employees, your managers are not going to be performing, because the ultimate desire of every single company to have great people who are really motivated and self-driven, who are going to be entrepreneurs, who are going to take the lead without really waiting for somebody to tell them what to do. Now, how are you going to do this? By really training your employees and give them the trust, being straightforward. You're going to be really trusting your team. Trust is a big thing. It does not really, happen just like this. It happens over time. And with the trust comes empowerment. So it's like a chain. When you link it all together, you just move one piece out of it. Now the chain is cut into two sides or many different pieces. So instead of doing this, get your team all together and build up an environment that is built on trust, built on honesty, and making sure that every manager is going to be empowered to feel themselves they are leaders.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you. We can conclude that the leader is a wholesome, the organizational oriented, and the manager is the task oriented. Is it correct?
That is absolutely correct. You said it quite well.
Yes. Thank you. The next one, how would we take the leadership position without the title of the leader? How would we take the leadership position without the title of the leader? Can we act without the leader position?
Yes, that's what I said earlier. What happens here, a lot of leaders are obsessed with titles. Unfortunately,
yes.
They become really self-driven by the title. And because they're obsessed with the title, they're obsessed with the chair they're sitting in.
Yes.
There is a reason why it's called a swivel chair, simply because it's turning, right? And then if that chair is turning, imagine the barber chair, right? The barber chair is meant and customized for a customer to sit in and then for somebody else to come in. Somebody to come in and then leave, somebody else to come in and leave. So think about it this way. Instead of being really obsessed and really focusing on the title itself, which is I'm really frustrated. A lot of leaders in the world nowadays, they just care about the title. And unfortunately, they forget to care about the people around them. Now, this is debatable all the time. A lot of people say, well, wait a second, right? I just have to show my people I am the boss. I am the person who is, in charge. No, you don't have to show this. Listen to your people. Don't become obsessed with the title. I'm frustrated with a lot of organizations today where basically they just forget the fact they're human beings. Employees are human beings like you. What makes you separate is there is no difference at all. What do you need actually? Just come down off your ivory tower and then ask your people, what do they need? How they are doing? What have they gone through? Are they happy or not? And of course, if you're creating a culture of fear because you're obsessed with your position, nobody is going to tell you what they feel and how they feel. Nobody, they will smile and it's going to be a fake smile. And a lot of people, by the way, they think and they say, well, I'm a leader. My people is really loving me. As a matter of fact, you just got to come down and see. If you're a leader and think about it this way and you think the people are really tuned in with you and then they love you, have you asked yourself as a leader what the people is thinking about you, what your team is thinking about you? And you don't have to do it yourself. You have to hire a third-tier consultant, which is an outsider from the organization, because most of the time, if you do a survey or if you just, a lot of people will lie about that survey. I've done a lot of consultation with a lot of people where I come down, a leader would think, oh, my people love me, right? And then they have this phobia as like, oh, I'm the greatest leader, my people are really in tune, I'm very honest with them. As a matter of fact, I found out that people, the team, if he thinks they are his team, of course, is basically they're looking at him in a different way because he created a culture of fear because of the position. And unfortunately, look at it this way. A title is just a title, right? Today you have the title. Tomorrow you're going to lose the title. What's going to happen?
Yes.
We're all human beings. We all have different mindsets. We all have different perspectives into life. Now, instead of doing this and become obsessed with a title, look, there is no degree in the world, university degree in the world, that's going to set you and make you become less of a human. There is no position in the world that's going to make you less of a human. There is no money in the world. You're going to stack and you're going to gather. It's okay. Become obsessed with money, but become obsessed with people at the same time. And that's what happens. That brings in the topic when people, when leaders basically are okay, well, I have a lot of money now, I have the title, and I have the nicest car, and I'm going to forget the nicest home. I have no problem with that. But I have a problem with one thing. When you forget your people and you don't take care of them, that is a big issue. That is basically not the leadership. If you think you're a leader, absolutely you're not. And by the way, this is becoming an increasing phenomena where basically everybody is just airheaded with the fact that I'm a leader, and I'm a leader because I have the title. No, you're not a leader because you have a title. You're a leader because you want your people to love you. You want your people just to look at you as a role model. You want your people that feels the care from you. That's where you come in. You're caring about the people around you. You're caring around the people who, imagine, ask the people, how do they feel today, right? How are you doing today? And when you do this, don't walk away. Stand in there and hear what they say. That's why you are becoming a leader. Stepping down out of your chair, right? Imagine what happens in the world of today. Unfortunately, I mean, it's a crisis situation, it's a pandemic situation, and it was a test. It's a very unfortunate situation, but unfortunately, many leaders have not come down to their senses to realize this was a test to care for the people around you. So that's what separates a leader, is really the care, is the care aspect, and mean it. When you say something to your people, mean it. Don't say something that you do not mean. Don't lie to your people. It's just what comes from the heart. My philosophy is what comes from the heart goes straight to the heart, right? And then my second philosophy is respect to be respected. That's why you need to put a value to the people around you before you put a value to yourself. Respect and appreciate these people because the people will treat you the same way.
Yes, clear. Thank you for your answer, Dr. Jones. Without the power, can we act as a leader and help the people? Do you think so?
Well, here it is. There is a position power, all right? And then there is a leader power comes from himself or herself, right? Doesn't matter where you are from. Doesn't matter what's your gender, what's your age, right? I had the chance earlier in my life when I started early in my 20s to manage a team who their ages were basically all the way to 45 years old, and I was like 20, 21 years old, all the way to 55 years old. And these people, you have to tailor the way that you treat people based on how you look at them. Don't show them the power because of your position. No, the power comes in from within by, again, you want to feel the power, empower your people. Because your people will empower you back. You want to have that power, and then that people respect them. Show them that you are the person who believes in them. Believe it is a great philosophy of life. If you don't believe in your own people, if you don't listen to them, they will never listen to you, and they will never believe you. So what goes around comes around. That's what it is. It's a circle.
Okay, correct. So the people power is the basic one for the leader to act in. Thank you. The next one.
Absolutely.
What is the most difficult part of being as a leader? What is the most difficult part of the leader to act?
I lost you here.
Can you please repeat your question, ma'am?
Yes. What is the most difficult part of being as a leader?
Dr. Sophia, can you please repeat the question?
What is the most difficult part of being a leader?
That's a very, very important question, actually. Being a leader is taking responsibility. Being a leader it's a decision, it's a choice.
Yes.
The whole leadership is a difficult concept. The whole thing is difficult if you want to make it difficult. And by the way, we are the people who make things difficult. Is a human being makes things difficult? and we are the people who make things easy. If you want things to be really difficult, we're going to put a lot of hurdles. And that's why if you're a person who is really tuned in by policies, rules, regulation, and every single day you're going to drag your people to those regulations. Funny story I can share with you here is I worked for a company where we had an HR department. The HR department were really obsessed with thumb in and then thumb out, sign in and sign out. And then so we needed to sign in by 7:30 a.m. in the morning, and we have to leave by 5:30. And guess what? The HR individual, because we have this system of a thumb in and thumb out, they were really checking people by, if you're late for 1 minute, you get a kind of like, a warning. But it's a light warning. It's kind of like, a third or fourth tier warning. If you're late 5 minutes and more, you get a third tier warning that's going to escalate and be in your file to be on the second warning. And if you get 3 warnings, you're going to get fired from your work. As a matter of fact, they don't consider the fact people maybe they stuck in the traffic. People maybe they were sick today. People maybe they had a difficult situation. People maybe they stayed all night long because they had an emergency, family emergency. So unfortunately, it's okay just to have policies and make people listen to that. But instead of doing this and issue warnings, where basically it was a disaster, everybody started being having the fear, and they were really scared of losing their jobs because it's a job security thing, right? And that job security, if you don't have that sense, give the people the freedom. So this is what I did instead. I look at the HR from one perspective, and I was in charge of a team, right? I just was landing in the UAE, came back from San Diego, California, and I was in charge of a team. And guess what happens here? I had a team of 6 to 7 people that were working, and they were in the sales department. And what happens here? I said, look, guys, my team are going to be having the freedom of following the rules of 8 hours. This is the regulations. You want 8 hours a day by 5, and then that's 5 days a week. No problem, right? But here it is. Let them have the flexibility. Whenever they want to come, let them come. Whenever they want to leave. And as a matter of fact, actually, the HR was challenging me a lot, and guess what happens here? I said, there is no warning that's going to happen to my people. If you want to issue warnings, issue it to me, because if somebody is late, just tell them. Cover for your team. And then tell them, I told them to be late. A leader should protect. That's why the most difficult thing is because you're dealing with people. Leadership is a skill. Leadership is a soft skill. It's not a hard thing like a laptop or a computer or a machine. We're not programmed this way, right? So take the blame. And guess what happens here? When you take the blame, people will really respect you and will be behind you. You want them to stay till late night? They will stay without an extra pay. Believe me. And that's what happens. Leadership is really, really a difficult thing because not everybody can be a leader. And not everybody, claiming to be a leader, but unfortunately, we live in a world that everybody say, well, I'm a leader. Sure. And simply because we train people for 2 or 3 days, and when we say, well, congratulations, you become a leader. No, that's not what it is. A leadership is everyday work. Everyday work. Until you master it, until you master it, and until you master it. So this is what happens. It's a challenge. You take that challenge.
Yes. Yes, thank you. Shall we move to the next one?
Absolutely. You're asking really wonderful questions, and really, these are the core of organizational leadership questions. I really thank you for these valuable questions.
Yes, thank you. How do you lead others through new thoughts, innovation, and changes? Because everybody, if we want to get a innovation or a change, they are not at all ready for the thing, accept the changes at once. So how do you make them and lead them through the new thoughts, innovation, and changes? Is it so difficult for the leader? So that I put the question to you, how do you lead others through the new thoughts and innovation and changes? How do we introduce the changes to them?
Look, I'm going to be honest with you here. Human beings, we don't like a change. Nobody likes to change, right?
Yes, yes,
A husband
correct.
and a wife, they're expecting each other to change. They're not going to change.
Yes, yes.
Two people,
correct.
a male and a male, a male and a female, co-workers, you don't expect people to change, right?
Yes, yes,
There is a
correct.
middle ground. There is a compromise in life. You don't want to change people, and you don't want people to think that you're changing them in the same time. Now, if you're imposing that you want to change people, no change is going to happen as a matter of fact. Now, and let's take this one in an organizational perspective. If there is a new change that you bring into the organization, you got to make sure that you tell your people from an honest standpoint why you're making the change. What is the purpose of that change? Clarity and transparency. You have to be a transparent individual. You have to tell it as it is. Don't fake it. And that will drive innovation. If you're going to implement the change, number one factor that people will take in their minds instantly, it is, I'm going to lose my job. Oh my God, what is going to happen?
Yes.
So, why would you want to do this? So, I'm going to mention an example. I had a team, and we wanted to increase the sales in the organization. We wanted to change it. We wanted to be the competition, right? And every single individual who was in charge of that department, they look at people as KPI, key performance indicators, right? And then they look at them as numbers. And everybody wanted to create that change. They wanted to change the numbers from a number standpoint. When I came on board and I looked at it, I sat down with every single person in the team. I asked them a few questions. What is it you want from being here? Tell me about your personal goals. Tell me about your organizational goals. How can I help you? And what do you want me to do for you? Nothing about sales. Nothing about raising the performance. It was all about them. I wanted to create a change, but I'm not going to say that I want you to increase my sales. No, because I really cared about it, but at the same time, I didn't care about the KPI. And I said, look, guys, you don't have a KPI. All what I want you to do here is work happy. I want you to come into work. Change whatever you want to change. You are the drive of the change. Tell me, what do you want me to do for you, or how can I help you? Because I want you to be focusing on yourself and your family. The first thing I did, we celebrated a birthday. I put a calendar for a birthday for every single individual in the team, and we made it public. Right? We made a huge part here. It's like a piece of paper, really like a banner, and then we stuck it on the wall. Said, nobody forget, you remind each other. And we started celebrating birthday of every single individual. The first thing we did not only celebrate it on just at work, but I took the team outside of work. Not only that, I created a habit. That habit, actually, we used to have every Thursday, the end of the week here, is basically have a lunch all together, right? Imagine, we wanted to create that change. So the change, it started from looking at the human perspective instead of looking at the numbers. And guess what happens? A lot of people are obsessed with the change. They display the number. We are at $100,000 today. We want to increase it to $200,000, which is they want 100%. And then they will follow up every single week, every single month. That's what happens in the sales industry. That's why they're losing, simply because you're not going to create a change, right? And if you're not achieving that change, you're going to be evaluated, and that's what's KPI. You're going to be evaluated based on the numbers. Guess what happens? They're going to put a piece of paper. They display the numbers. You're a good performer simply because you increase the sales. You're a bad performer because you did not increase the sales, because maybe you increased it marginal, or you're a terrible person simply because we did not see any improvement in sales. As a matter of fact, this is not how it is. If you're in the sales industry, sales is all about dealing with people. So you as a leader, if you deal with your own people as human beings and treat them as humans, not numbers, not figures, people will be tuned in with you. People will look at you as a human being, and they want to make you look good. You want to look good in front of your superiors as a manager, as a leader? Fine. Forget about the
Okay.
KPIs for a second. The change, if you want to create a change, assure, number one factor, assure people they're not going to lose their jobs. Because everybody has family, everybody has responsibility. Their lifestyle is based on their own living, on their salaries, on their income, right? If in a crisis situation, get the people around them and ask them what they want to do, and instead of telling them what to do, right? A beautiful model, one of the universities in California, in the 2008-2009 recession, they were big, massive university, one of the UC system, University of California in San Diego. What happens here is the crisis hit, everybody was affected, and they did not want to lose their human capitals because they believe it's the real assets. They've been working with them, whether you are just joined in a day or just joined it for X amount of years, 15 years, 20 years, doesn't matter. They said, let's get everybody on board and let's ask each employee in their department headed by the managers. So they trained the managers and they said, what do you want us to do? We don't want to lose you, but there is a financial crisis hitting, right?
Oh.
And we want to reach the perfect solution. So this is a chance. So everybody volunteered. And they said, I would like to take my unpaid leave. I would like to be, reducing my allowances. I would like to work X amount of days, and then I will get paid for this amount, and I want to make sure that I'm on board with you. Imagine, because it's all consensus here. It's you join all this, joining the leadership, and then the leadership respected that, and as a matter of fact, they did not terminate any single individual. They did not let go of every single person. And people really appreciated it, and the word of mouth was really much more effective. How beautiful is this when you're taking care of your people, and then you're changing something by listening to them, and then get their feedback. That's what change is all about. If you want to create a change, listen to your people.
Okay, correct. Excellent. Your examples, we can understand through your examples. So we can conclude here that the leader should have emotional bondage with the members of the team. Then he can easily bring the changes among them. Yes, is it correct?
Well said, Dr. Sophia. I have to say, you really nailed it here. It's really the emotional bonding, because people create love and compassion with their leadership.
Yes, correct. Thanks for the answer. Shall we move to the next one?
Please.
How does a good leader manage or balance the positive and unavoidable negativity? So in every team there may be a positive people and also some negative people. So how can the leader balance both the people and move the organization to the correct way?
Look, positivity. Being positive is a choice, and being negative is also a choice. Unless otherwise something unfortunate happened in our life, we're not talking about that, right?
Yes.
If you want to be positive, come on. Go work out in the morning. Do something different. Wake up in the morning, early morning. Try to run, and this will drive the energy in you. Create an environment that is built on positivity. Don't create an environment that is built blaming. That is totally negative. And some leaders, they think by blaming my employees, by blaming my teams, is basically going to motivate them. Well, not everybody is going to be motivated towards that. That's why my book is coming towards the month of August and September, is talking about the blaming concept of leadership. And it's going to be 20 chapters. It's telling the story along with modules. And I wanted to convey the message of how leaders are treating their people. Sometimes you walk into an organization and you feel, oh my God, I love this beautiful environment. This is so positive. I want to come back. I really feel so happy. People are really smiling, not fake smile. People are really so positive, not fake positivity. People are really talking really well and nicely about their colleagues, their coworkers, their classmates, everything. Because they created a culture of a family. And that culture of a family is basically everybody is supporting each other, right? A brother and a sister. They quarrel with each other, fight with each other in the house. But let somebody actually, an outsider, come in and attack the sister. The brother is going to step in. Doesn't matter if the brother is, athletic or not athletic. He's going to defend the sister. So that's the bondage. That's the positivity. Actually, you want to create in the environment. You want to defend your people. You want to defend your organization. You want to create a positive atmosphere. The question is, we all are going to be gone out of this world in a glimpse of an eye sometimes. Why would you send negative energy? I mean, is there a reason to do this? When my book is going to be published, I would like to do another seminar where we're going to cover the modules, the 20 modules or some of them. You'll be really amazed how the impact of negativity on people psychologically. So you forget the well-being of people. Unfortunately, there is no work-life balance. You want people to work and work and work and work tirelessly. No, you don't want that. You want people to work and taking care of their families, because you have to understand, work is not the only thing in their life. So 2 options as a leader you have to ask yourself and infuse the people around you. Do I live to work or do I work to live? What is the question here, right? I personally, I don't want to live to work only. No, I work to live, and that's the model that I want to create in my life, right? You need to be healthy. You need to be positive. You need to be taking care of your family. You need to send the positivity. You need to go to work. You need to create an environment as a leader where people go to work and they want to go to work. They want to wake up in the morning and feel, oh my God, I have to go to work. It's not like, oh my God, I have a work today. I have to go to work. No, you don't want to create that. And if we're human beings. We go into, rounds and rounds and rounds of up and down, up and down, up and down. I call it like a stock market, and that's a problem. People are going through different things in their life. So look at the human capital part of that and make sure that you're taking care of people and the positive energy. That's Sophia. Back to you. Dr. Sophia?
Yes. Okay. Thanks, Varun. So, how does a leader reinvent himself to meet the upcoming demands? Reinvent himself to meet the upcoming demands. How does a leader reinvent himself to meet the upcoming demands?
As a leader, you need to put in your head, you do not know everything in anything. If you start thinking that you know everything, then basically you're not a leader, because a person will learn and keep learning. And the moment you stop learning, that is where you basically starting to dig your own grave. As a matter of fact, don't think because you're a CEO or because you're a chairman or because you're a president of the company that you're a leader. You're in that position because you know everything. No. You need to know that you know everything for your own people. If you have a brilliant idea, throw it in there and challenge the team. Show what people can do. Empower these people just to do the excellent. Don't really just tell them that you know everything. Oh, because things were done this way, we're going to do it this way. No. As a leader, unfortunately, I see a lot of leaders nowadays across the world. It's becoming really on the rise that leaders, they forget the fact They need to be trained. Obsessed with the fact that they are leaders because they claim to be leaders, and I don't see them this way. They forget the fact, actually, leadership is a soft skill that can be forgotten. You need to assign somebody. If you don't want to go into a popular training that everybody isn't there, hire somebody to do one-on-one coaching with you. Hire somebody just to look at you while you're doing the operation. Let somebody accompany you and see how you are treating yourself. This is how you reinvent yourself, by looking at the different aspects of yourself, by letting somebody evaluating who you are. And make sure, don't ask the people who is working for you directly and reporting to you directly to evaluate you. No. You need to have somebody who is an honest person, who's an expert in the field of leadership, somebody who's going to tell you, what do you need to do? I am appalled by how many people evaluating, how many leaders evaluating their employees, and most of the time they evaluate them terribly in their soft skills, but unfortunately they did not let anybody to evaluate them. And that is really not really a good thing to do as a leader. You need to be evaluated. The same way that you evaluate your own people, before you spread the evaluation, give the evaluation to somebody else. Beautiful thing I would like to mention to you here. I had an experience with evaluation. I come on board as a new person heading the team, and there is an HR evaluation happening. They gave us about 2 weeks time to finalize all the evaluation, and I wasn't in charge of the evaluation. The supervisor was supposed to evaluate the teams, right? And I asked one question. I said, before you send the evaluation, I want to see every single evaluation before it's sent to the HR. I fill the forms about the team that I'm working with, and I call them my team. I call them my people. And it was a terrible evaluation. It was absolutely talking badly about the performance of every single individual. What I did, I shredded those papers, I tossed them in the trash, I said, give me the evaluation form. I started writing really nicely things about the people, although some of them, they did not really perform so well. And guess what happens here? Because we needed to the evaluation, the HR person will be sitting, and then they will read the evaluation to the employees. We were a panel. Myself, the supervisor, and the HR individual, and then the employee sitting in front of us, and then we needed to evaluate them and then tell them what the evaluation came as a panel. Guess what happens? On that day, everybody was scared and terrified because they had a terrible experience of evaluating them badly, which drove the performance absolutely down. On that day, the HR started reading each section of the evaluation with positivity, praising them and thanking them and appreciating all their efforts for all what they have done, even if they have not done well. Guess what happens here? I had a box of tissues sitting in the middle of the table, and everybody started crying. You know why? Because you touched them as a human being. And after this, it's okay. Let your people feel they are appreciated. They are human beings. If you want to apprehend them, just ask them in private. Sit down with them. Don't let the HR know they are terrible performance. You need to protect your people. Your people are the greatest human capital and assets in your team. If you want to take the blame, take it to the leader. Don't blame them. Coach them, mentor them, give them a second chance. While you're reinventing yourself as a leader, give them a chance to reinvent themselves. That's why the American system is all about giving a second chance to people. American people is all about giving a second chance. They believe in you. Your neighbors are believing in you. Your coworkers are believing in you. And that's why you need to inhibit that and then give a chance to everybody. They deserve a second chance. Reinvent yourself and reinvent.
Okay,
Back
okay,
to you,
correct.
Dr. Sophia.
So the leader can, yes. Through self-evaluation and self-actualization, the leader can reinvent himself to meet the upcoming demands. Yes, sir. Is it correct? Yes.
Absolutely. Please nurture yourself. Take care of the people. All the time educate yourself. Education is a great way. Not education on the wall. Education is here. The mindset, understanding the people, is the concept of mentality and psychology, getting in the heads of your own people and knowing exactly how to touch them by heart.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your answer. The next one. How does a leader make his passion as contagious? His passion as contagious. How does the leader make his passion as contagious?
You as a leader, leadership, you need to bear in your mind is a compassion and is a passion. Being compassionate with people of how they feel and what they feel is the essence of leadership. Have the passion to drive a team. The leader's job is to create leaders. The leader's job is not to run the company. It's not to increase the sales. The leader's job is taking care of the people around them. The leader's job is having a passion for the people around them. Is having a compassion for the people around them. Evaluate yourself how much of a compassionate and passionate individual you are. Are you the person who deserves the title of a leader? Do you have a love for your team? Do you have a love for what you do? If you don't, then this is not the position, not the job for you. You don't deserve the title of a leader. Have the compassion for the people. Have the passion to try to motivate the people. You are who you are because the way you behave and the way that you act. So, when you go to the gym, people, they say, there is a common saying here, you are what you eat. My brother taught me this. He's a fitness coach and he's a fitness trainer. And he's my role model in the fitness industry because he's really compassionate about what he does. And this takes stuff. He doesn't want to do any 8 to 5 jobs or 9 to 6. No. He wants to be free. And I call him a leader because he told me one day, you are what you eat. So if you're looking really good and caught and lean, this is because of the results. And if you're a compassionate and honest people, an honest person as a leader, you drive the people in your organization to be honest. You are a mirror to the people around you. People will see you as a reflection. If you do not believe in the people around you, people will see you as a reflection. If you don't trust the people around you, people will see you as a reflection. Trust is God. You know, what goes around comes around.
Okay. Okay, the mirror example is good to understand easily. Right. Thank you.
Lead by
what do you think?
All the time. Lead by example.
Right. Thank you. Thank you. What do you think the most and desirable top 3 leadership qualities? How can we improve our quality? The most top 3 leadership quality. Can you suggest?
Right. We have quantity of people and we have less of a quality of people nowadays.
Yeah. Right.
Unfortunately, this is the case. The quality of an individual is basically, it's a self-driven from within. If you want people to, if you're waiting for people to tell you you are an amazing person and you're waiting a thank you, no. Do something and do it and master it. Make yourself as a quality individual and create a competitive advantage for yourself. Put you as a role model. Why do I have to follow you? If you're absolutely dishonest to me and if you're creating a culture of fear, I'm not going to follow. I'm not going to see you as a leader. I'm not going to follow you as a leader. So make sure, as a quality leader, be a trustworthy individual, be an honest individual, and be a humble person. Be a kind person. Humiliation is the essence of leadership. If you're not a person who is down to earth, I'm not going to respect you, and nobody else is going to respect you. I respect you not for the leader you are. I respect you for the person you are. And that is the great difference.
Right. Correct. Excellent, excellent. How organizational culture and ethics add values to the institution as well as to an individual? How do we create the leader, which he or he has to create the organizational culture and ethics? How it will add the values to the institution as well as to the workers or the individuals?
You bring it to the table, really important question here, Dr. Sophia.
Yeah.
Ethics. I remember early in my 20s, graduated with a bachelor degree, and then here it is, I'm going to an interview, and then and the person asked me a question directly. I think it was the second or third question. He said, "What do you think of ethics?"
Oh.
And then here it is. I had no idea what ethics was because there was no school that I went to taught me about ethics, unfortunately. There was no topic about ethics. And
yeah,
that puts me in a position, I said, I don't know. What do you mean? Can you repeat the question? And he started explaining to me, thankfully, but that disqualified me from the interview. Since the 20s till now, we're talking about 19, 20 years ago, that question stayed in my head. Ethics is the core of leadership. You should be an ethical individual, have an integrity. You should be a person that carries, that integrity around you wherever you go. By the way, as a leader or a manager, doesn't matter what you want to, as an employee, as a student, as a professor, your personal life is connected with your professional life. You are a representation of your work outside of your work, and you are a representation of your home outside of your home. So all of these are integrated because you're a human being. You cannot really dissect those into two different pieces. So I've seen a lot of people and a lot of managers, they say to their teams, do whatever you want to do, what do you need to do to make it happen? Well, wait a second. You need to clarify. Doing unethical issues is out of the question. And unfortunately, if you say that line, you're telling me to do unethical issues. So as a leader, you need to clarify. Ethics, it should be the core competency in organization. You should be the individual who is going to implement the ethical values of your organization and create a culture of ethics wherever you are in the world. Because your reputation matters, the organization reputation matters, and your employees' reputation matters, your manager's reputation matters. Everything matters here. So why would you want to create a name that is basically not ethical? You live once, be ethical with high integrity. That's it.
Yeah. Right. Thank you. Thanks for your kind answer. Then next one, how the leader, then as an individual, supposed to think critically. Why? We are always describing the leader. He's a person, those who are always criticizing others. So how the leader supposed to think critically, and how do we lead others by giving a constructive way of criticism? Constructive way of criticism. Why does a leader do so?
Right. What happens here, I'm specialized in the field of leadership and critical thinking, and a lot of researches are done in a field. I'm an active researcher in those two fields, in the corporate world, in the academia, whether it's higher education or K-12. What happens here is, as a matter of fact, critical thinking is becoming the highest demand of employers around the world, and a lot of employers are complaining the lack of critical thinkers, of the fresh graduates getting out of school in different disciplines. And unfortunately, a lot of us as professors, teachers, employers, leaders, managers, employees, coworkers, we claim to be critical thinkers. And then what happens here when I go and evaluate people is basically, as a matter of fact, it turns out we don't focus on critical thinking as much as we want to focus on. One component I can mention to you here of critical thinking is problem solving. And problem solving is based, every leader needs to learn the quality and the methods and strategies of how to solve a problem and how to train your employees how to solve problems. Not only that, you bring it to the table, a very important aspect of feedback. Feedback, I've seen tremendous organizations, tremendous people, managers, leaders, co-workers, they are really not good in feedback, and unfortunately they focus on the finger pointing, on brainstorming rather than actually brainstorming. Why would you want to do this? Feedback should be strategically done. You want to focus on the positive, and there is a strategy on how to drive the negative towards a very nicely verbally done way. And then if you're not knowing how to do it, you're going to be trained on that. That's why when I do a lot of trainings on feedback and strategies and then basically problem solving, critical thinking, these are all the components. There is a strategy. There is a focus on the positive. Why would you make sure every single criticism, it should be basically positive criticism, constructive rather than actually destructive.
Very good, excellent.
Destructive criticism can destroy your company. Constructive criticism can build your company. What do you want to do? It's your choice as a leader.
Yeah, correct. Yes. We feel so proud with your answer for knowing this questions. Yes, excellent. Yes, shall we ask the participants to shoot some questions to you?
Absolutely. Yes. Let's open it for participants. All right, guys. I think we're coming to the end of our seminar today, or webinar.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
I want to thank all the
audience. Thanks for your excellent answer. From your audience, from all of your answers, we can understand that a leader should have the psychological intelligence to meet all the people's needs and demands to lead his position. Yes, thank you for your thanks for your all the answers. The informative and also connective to our present days and problems.
When things are opening up, I'd love to give this seminar.
We would like to thank our management and the principal. Okay. Yeah. Shall I continue? Yeah. First, we would like to thank our management principal and our colleague Dr. Sundar to bring such an eminent personality to head this program, and also you, Dr. Jones. You are giving a pleasant and wonderful answers for every question. It shows that you are very knowledgeable and also you are correct to give an answer in an understandable way with a simple vocabulary, and it's in a mild voice and also kind presentation. So wonderful, Sir Dr. Jones, and thanks for your wonderful answers and explanations and also examples. It's a very correct thing to lead our life as a leader hereafter. So we can understand your words, so we can promise you and assure that we will take your points and we will use in all our walks of life. Thank you, sir.
I want to thank you, Dr. Sophia. I want to thank Dr. Sundar. I want to thank the leadership in your college and university. I want to thank all the audience. I want to say to all of you, when things are opening up, I would love to meet all of you and do it in person. I love personal interaction face-to-face. I want to wish you all the best. Please stay positive, stay safe. This is a challenging time for all of us. You are all leaders, and I am here to mentor you, to answer all of your questions. I am here to serve you. I'm sure that we can all of you. I would urge all of the audience to follow me on Instagram page, which is dr.alexjones101. Again, Alex, A-L-E-X, Jones, J-O-N-E-S 101, and also follow me on LinkedIn, which is, you can find me as Dr.Alex Jones, and I'd love a lot of people to get connected with me. If you have any questions from the audience, please feel free to communicate with me. I'm pretty fast to answer questions, and that's how I want to attain to our audience, all the people around. I'm here for you. Thank you once again, and all of you stay positive.
Thank you, Dr. Alex Jones. Thank you so much.